Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pat Decker. I'm the treasurer of Plantation, and we have a very special opportunity this evening to welcome back Dick Ambrose, who was a 11-plus year member at Plantation and is known very well, especially to our low handicap golfers from his many years here at Plantation. Dick is in a very special position in that he knows Plantation intimately from all the time he spent here, but at the same time, he's been a member of McGregor Downs in North Carolina at the same period for a long time, 35 years, I think it is. And so McGregor Downs was purchased by Concert about 4.5 years ago, and Dick has had the opportunity to see how Concert has operated, if that's the right term, after purchasing McGregor Downs. He's going to give us a little history and his thoughts on what the advantages have been to having Concert. Welcome, Dick.
Thank you, Pat. As Pat said, Concert purchased McGregor Downs, which is in North Carolina near Raleigh, about 4.5 years ago. It turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to McGregor Downs. I'd like to give you a little background about how things were prior to the Concert purchase, if I can, and then tell you where we are now. The membership levels varied over the years at McGregor to a high of somewhere around 400 in the 90s to a low of when we sold Concert to about 320. We tried everything. We hired marketing groups to help grow membership. We waived initiation fees, and we gave nice incentives to members, anybody who could bring in new members. Bottom line, nothing really worked. The debt we had accrued was about $5 million in what I call bricks and mortar, buildings that we had needed to refurbish, etc. And we also had some debt in the equity area, money we owed members who had are either members of the club or had left the club. The golf course was not good. We had bent grass greens. We're a little bit too far south in Raleigh for bent grass. Bent does not like hot, humid weather. The course was good for maybe most of May and most of October every year. But the real playing season, between June and September, it suffered. They had to leave the greens long because if they cut them and rolled them, they'd lose them. The fairways and the course in general was overgrown, way too many trees, not enough sun in an awful lot of areas on the course. Other facilities at the club were suffering too. The pool had a number of cracks in it. The snack bar was old, needed a number of repairs. And the tennis courts, which were clay, all needed refurbished. We sold a Concert, and they came in and immediately started making a number of capital improvements. They cut down a number of trees to let in some sunshine. They replaced all of the greens and all the tees. We now have dwarf Champions Bermuda, which is the grass for greens in that area of the country. And the tees were leveled, resodded, and resodded not with necessarily the same grass every tee, depending on how much shade and how much sunshine each tee had. They put in the appropriate grass for that area. One thing I found very interesting, they tore down our pump house. It was a small shack containing a pump used to pump water out of our lake to water the entire golf course. And they built a new one, a small house really, a couple of stories, got the latest equipment in to pump water. They said that the ion concentration, magnesium and calcium, etc., was way off what we were watering our course with, and their new equipment allowed them to regulate that. It's really helped. The fairways have gotten back to much more velvety than they were prior to Concert taking over. Membership experience since Concert bought us. The main improvement is in the golf area. People who were criticizing and complaining about the golf course are now bragging about it. It's rather humorous, really, to having been there before and now and listen to the same people change course. The dining experience is better. It wasn't a real problem before Concert bought us, but it has become, food's become upgraded and the service is a little better. Can't talk much about the pool area. I don't go there much and I don't play tennis, but I do know they have made improvements in those areas. Staff. Concert kept our general manager, and he stayed for the first 4 years before he left voluntarily to take a new position that he felt was better for him. The staff has, in my opinion, remained pretty normal at any club. We've had some turnover. People leave on their own for one reason or another. Some people weren't pulling their load, so they were let go. But these weren't big numbers, and I didn't notice anything drastic about changes in staff. Finally, I guess I just want to say, Pat, that if I had one message to give to the people here at Plantation, and this is solely based on my experience at McGregor Downs, vote yes to the Concert purchase. Concert has money, but much more important, in my opinion, they know what they're doing in the golf course business.
Well, thank you, Dick, for your enlightening us of your experience. Let me ask you, were there many people that were skeptical about the buyout by Concert?
Very, and a lot. What McGregor did, and incidentally, we interviewed at least 3 companies who were interested in purchasing McGregor until we finally selected Concert. But once we did, we held a number of meetings to educate the membership about our current situation, where we actually were, and why we felt Concert could help us before we had the vote. And it took a vote, as it does in most private clubs, if you're going to sell, and it passed.
Well, obviously, Plantation's in the same situation. We've done as much homework as we can do over the last year, a little bit more than a year actually, in planning for this strategic opportunity to come before our membership. I think the thing that I've been very impressed with that you've talked about, not only at McGregor but at the other 11 clubs that we interviewed, is pretty much the story was the same in all of them. Concert really does know what they're doing. They're a professional organization. They run the clubs in a professional way, and they are very aggressive, I would say, in spending capital. I think in virtually every club that I talked to, at least, and actually in all the 11 clubs, because I did the summaries of the 11 interviews, they spent more money, they invested more capital than they had promised to the boards that had interviewed them. So we really appreciate you coming and sharing your experience with us. It's been great to have your view, and I know from knowing you for the 11 years that you were here that you wouldn't be sitting there saying anything that you didn't really believe.
No, that's true.
So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Beck.